Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you your weekly flesh and blood market update. Yeah, it's a crazy week. It is still on fire. The markets are a little bit calmer than last week, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how this all plays out. But it's definitely a lot of activity. Rudy recently declared that the bull market is back, and when the card father himself says it, I think it's probably fair to trust it. One of the things he said, which we'll talk about a little bit in a minute, is that he actually got a request to buy a sealed case of WTR from one of his patrons or friends or whatever, and he sold it for $38,500. So now we have a new market price for that, which you can see I put in down here. I don't know that we'll ever really get TCG market prices again on these products. So if I hear rumor from a reasonable source, then I will put them in here. And I guess that's how we'll just treat anything going forward. Is just confirmed sales from someone that is gonna probably tell the truth. I mean, Rudy is who he is, and you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But I don't think he's hyping WTR cases, right? Like, he's not selling a lot of those. And there's not a lot of people that are buying them at 38,000, right? But it's worth noting. It is a thing. It is a data point that we will use in this case. But yeah, let's jump into it. Crazy week. So let's just get through it. So WTR Unlimited boxes up 5% after coming up last week by a bit. We're looking at 104. Finally broke through the $100 mark on WTR Unlimited boxes. So we're there now. The first three sets unlimited have hit over 100. Honorable mention to ARC Unlimited, 4%, 4.03% up to 129. Remember, we did have a dip down. This is not the high. It's nice to see it slowly ticking back up because that's the more healthy way, and you don't get those retraces and that sort of thing, but that's what's happening there. Mon still moving quickly upwards, up to $62, 5.08%. So nothing too crazy there. It was only 59 the other day, so nothing crazy there, but still moving up, upward pressure as we approach dusk till dawn. I think that's going to continue to happen. By the way, if there are cards that are light and or shadow that you're into, you probably don't have too much time to pick them up before dusk till dawn hype really takes over. We had that first wave of hype where a lot of the cards went up. I think they have started to cool off again, so keep an eye on those if you're interested in some of those cards, and maybe scoop some up. I will probably be grabbing a couple cold foils before the set gets closer to launch and reveal and all that sort of stuff. So gotta look for those times to jump in. It's very important. Unlimited case of Crew is up 25.66%, which is insane. It's a huge jump. From 417 to 524. This is a new high for this product, at least local high. And we are looking at it coming off of a low, a dip back that we had before. So it's crazy to see it jump that much. It's a lot higher than I would have expected. I do expect another retrace, but it might not be right away. It may be one of these where we get like 3 weeks of heat and then it cools off again, right? We'll have to see how the market goes. We'll look at the charts. Moving on. WTR first edition box has dropped down to 4,997, down 17.39%. Again, as I pointed out last week, and it sounded like there was some pretty positive response to me explaining how I do this. We're looking at trends first, not specific prices. So these data models are all based on list price. It's what you could buy it for if you wanted to, off a TCG player sort of thing. So I'm glad that explanation was helpful for people last week. It really just indicates where the price of the market is heading, not necessarily where it is. You can almost always get better deals, as I've mentioned before, on Discords, Facebook groups, etc., especially on the higher end products. And that's the way I would purchase it if I was going to purchase it. I would not buy through TCG Player. But it does give you an indication of what people are going to look at when they say, hey, let's do a deal. Well, you go to TCG Player and you look at last sold, you look at what the current price is, what you can get it for. I know when I've made offers based on last sold, I have not always got the product. Some sellers are like, no, I would rather you base it off of what the list price is, and then we come to some agreement between the two. That is just the way it is, so you got to take it into consideration as a data point, and when you're looking at trends, it's good enough. You're not looking at specific down to the dollar situation. So anyways, point being is that this price is still over the last sold for WTR first edition box. Let me pull it up. I think I had it. No, I don't have it up. I had it up. It was 4,197 or something was the last sold, something like that. So basically, 4,200 was the last sold for WTR first edition box through TCG Player. So this is a bit above it, but not as high above it as the 6,000. Will this sell? We don't know. We'll find out, and that would change kind of the dynamic in the price. But point being, while this is a retrace, it's still above where the last sold were. These were the previous last solds. They were actually at this 3,200 mark, just for anyone that wants to know. Mon up 14.39% to 159. We've seen this before. It's just kind of bouncing around in this range. We're looking at this new step on the ladder, if you will, or step on the staircase. Mon has gotten a lot of heat recently, moved up, and is kind of settling, finding its new perch before the Dusk Till Dawn hype hits. Some of this may be reflecting the buyouts of the individual cards that are kind of driving the EV up. Therefore, people are moving the prices up because lower price boxes are no longer available. 26.09% for our favorite strange product, Tales of Aria, up to $87 a box. Still pretty good price for a first edition product. That said, we haven't seen it at this price in a while. I'm trying to think, when was the last time we saw it at 90? Since I've tracked? Yeah, way back in, about a year ago. Almost exactly a year ago was the last time it was 90. So we've taken a year to do the low slope, and then coming back up. It's pretty interesting to see. I wouldn't count this as a big data point for future trend analysis just because Tales of Aria was a specific product. It was the last product with, two printings, Unlimited and First Edition. Technically, EVR has it, but they never released Unlimited. It was highly overprinted. We know a lot of the market dynamics. We talked about them before, but point being that with that heavy market dynamic, it took about a year for the U to happen, the slope down and then the slope back up. And now we're back here a year later. So pretty interesting. Everfest up 8.33%. I think we're just bouncing around here. I don't think there's anything in particular about this. We've been in this range multiple times, so it's nothing special, but it's nice to see continued upward pressure on the market as a whole. Going into first edition cases, Crew retraced down to $37.75. This is including shipping. I did check on that. Down 5.6%. So what we're seeing is it went too fast. It jumped to this 4,000 mark as a list price, obviously. I don't think it got any sales at that price. Therefore, people are trying a little bit lower. We'll see where it ends up. But that does give an indication that, when you jump that high that fast, you gotta take a breath, pull back a little bit. Monarch down 6.88%. This is for first edition case to 623. This was definitely a case of jump too fast. I mean, we were 400 a month ago, not even a full month ago. We were at 440, and now we went up to 700. That was 670, I guess. That was just too far, right? It will settle. It'll settle, and it will probably almost certainly settle above this low. So above this low for sure, the month ago low, right? This 400. So I'm guessing it will be somewhere between this 670 and 400, right? Somewhere closer to the higher range of that, right? So maybe 500, 550 range. We'll see. We'll have to see where it settles, but it is interesting to see. Tales of Aria up 6.6% to 339 from 318. It's just been a steady climb on this one, which is actually a first. These are all higher than 5% gains too, so it'll be interesting to see what the chart looks like. Maybe there is actually supply limitation now hitting the market for the first time on this product. You do have to keep in mind that this is below what MAP is on a modern case that cost more, has a higher MSRP. So it's still like way below market, but it's ticking up, and that just means it's one of those things where people are like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty valuable. Moving on, I didn't honorable mention this, I should have. So 4.78% for Dynasty increase up to 351, just getting back to MAP, nothing really special there. And this one's particularly interesting. Outsiders is down 13.74% to 295. That is way below MAP, which is 351, I believe. I'm guessing a shop is just going out of business and dumping all their product. I don't really know what the story is there. You're not supposed to be able to sell it that way and still maintain access to distribution. So I'm guessing they don't care if they maintain access. It's like, we're going out of business. It doesn't matter. We need to get whatever we can for it. There were, I believe, 8 cases available at that price. I did post it in the Discord as soon as I saw it. So those of you in the Discord that have joined us via the Patreon, you can get those kind of tips a little bit early, a couple days early, sort of thing, when I see these sorts of patterns emerge. Yeah, so just did want to reiterate that Rudy gave us this price. He said this is what he sold for, so I put it in there. It's a data point. It's nothing special. Sorry, I just realized you guys couldn't see these lower prices. We're getting pretty big. So many sets. Look at that. Doesn't even fit on one screen anymore. Crazy. All right, let's move into the charts. Not much to talk about on the TCG player side. We do individual singles with Tommy. The only thing was that 4,200 sale of WTR box. First edition single box was the last sold, but I told you about it. So here we are. You may notice something different. We are now many more data points. I started looking at our data. I think I was doing 3 months before, maybe. And I realized that we were missing some of the more interesting long-term patterns. So I expanded the data set to many more months. I don't remember how many more, but more. Maybe it's 6 months now, something like that, 7, whatever it is. And that gives us a little clearer picture on kind of long-term trends, which I hope will be useful and give us some insights going forward. So yeah, WTR Unlimited. This is kind of what we're seeing here. We do have a bit of an ARB opportunity, not much. I believe it's only $4 if you buy the case and sell the boxes. Nothing crazy there. ARC Unlimited. This one has reached a new stepping stone here and then a new stepping stone here. Retracing. We'll see if it holds up, how far it holds up. But my guess is it will, as long as it holds above this kind of 469 range, we're solid. Like it means it's on the upward path. You'll note that the case and box or the box price is much less stable. There's a lot of back and forth here. This could be partially shipping, me missing shipping costs in here. But either way, it still follows the same general trend, this moving average, if you will. It's not a moving average, but you know what I mean. This trend of the cases kind of stick with the pattern, and you see box prices kind of bouncing around that price. And we saw the same thing back here. So I'm guessing it's just instability in the market as people try to figure out supply and demand. Moving on to crew. We did have a nice ARB opportunity we talked about last week. Let me scroll down a little bit so you can see this whole chart back here. It looks like people took advantage of that and swung the market as a result. This is what happens when an opportunity like that hits. People buy it up. That's how it goes. Moving on to Mon. Not much to talk about here. Minor ARB opportunity. 25 cents. That ain't good. But it is interesting to see back here, like this $40 one, and how the trend went with this. The cases jumped first, and the boxes have followed. That is a pretty interesting pattern to watch for. Tales of Aria. Cases are sliding down. And here's the boxes. This is the unlimited. Not surprising. Ton of supply in that. WTR, nothing much here. I did, like I said, adjust the upward price situation here. The boxes are actually a real pricing thing because these are actually sales. Well, there are sales happening at these prices, but we're seeing this cool down to this $4.99, which we did hang out at a lot before. So if it dips below this again, that means this was an unsupported increase in price, and the market says, nah, it really isn't worth all that yet. We'll see, though, because I have a feeling people aren't going to be so impatient to sell first edition boxes with the way the market's heating up. So just keep that in mind. Just because it's listed doesn't mean it actually goes through. ARC, yeah, it's crazy. This is an artificial ARB. Don't count that. It's because the box prices and the case prices are not real. They're not actually moving. So I don't think you'll be able to get a case at this price at all, considering what WTR just went for. So I'm guessing, shoot, what is it? If it's 3,800 was the last sold, then ARC is probably 38,000. It's got to be at least 15,000 at this point, something like that for an ARC case. So this is not reflective. I'm not going to put a number in there just to reflect on these first charts, but just keep that in mind. We'll have to see what we see in the market. If you know of someone that bought an ARC case and you can provide proof of it that I can confirm with somebody or look up, some sales record, PayPal's, whatever, let me know, and I will adjust it if someone reaches out to me and directly messages me. I will take that into consideration for these charts. But until I see something, I don't want to adjust it. So it will be off for those 2 sets because they're just gone, essentially. Crew, this was the high jump up, but we're seeing it cool off. We're not seeing anything crazy here, and the box prices followed, so I imagine this will stay pretty steady. We might dip down a little bit, but I think this is our new norm for Crew first edition. Mon, same thing. Here's their step. Another step went way too high, too fast, dipping back down. I would not be shocked if we saw it retrace back into this mid-range here. I just don't see it because these were reasonable steps and held, and this one was too far, and now it's pulling back. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a pullback continue here. These boxes, following along, jumping up. We'll see if they drop down. Tales of Aria, favorite crazy chart. It's so insane. I don't even know. I still don't know. It's just everywhere. It's all over the place. And it's shooting for the moon right now. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I have plenty of it sitting around, so I'd be happy if it stuck to this price. I just don't think it will. Everfest is steady rise, which is kind of cool. I do like that. You get this nice little U shape coming through here, and heading up and to the right. So I think we're pretty good on Everfest. Supplemental set has some good cards for every class. I think those ultimately will hold better value than the draft sets unless they're particularly good draft. Like a lot of fun people like the draft. I think Outsiders in the long run will hold up very well compared to some of the other less draftable sets, i.e. Monarch or let's see what else would be. I don't know. What do you guys think of Uprising Draft? I've heard mixed reviews on it. I didn't do a lot of it myself, so I don't have an opinion or an honest opinion. So curious what you think. Let me know in the comments if you thought Uprising was better or worse than Tales, or how you would rank all your draft experiences. Like maybe put your rankings. Like this is my favorite draft, second, third, fourth, whatever. Curious how that sticks out. I'm loving Outsiders right now, so that's good. So I think it ranks up there for me. All right, Uprising. See what we got here. Not much. Pretty stable. Mostly just map hanging out. Yeah, there's really it's too much into map to really bother with. Same with Dynasty. Still following map for the most part. 85 a box. Cases are a little bit janky and all over the place, probably based on supply and demand. And then Dynasty falling off the edge here like this. So remember when this happened, I said don't worry about the hype. Like it's very healthy, but don't think that you won't be able to get your cases in boxes. It's a new release. It'll be around for a while. Tommy said the same thing. Clearly, that is the situation when you can get these. Let's see what our ARB is. It's, 12 bucks. It's not a bad ARB. So your boxes are still holding up, but the cases drop down. Again, there was only 8 of them available at this price. I don't think it's going to last long. In fact, it may be gone by now. But point being is that it was one of those things like, oh, this is really low. In fact, let's go check it out. What is Outsiders? Case, yep, it's already back up. Well, 306, not that far up. Yeah, but you can see, multiple sales at this 295 range. Only 2. There was 8 listed. Oh, they just upped the price because there's 5 left and 2 sold, or more people listed. I'm not sure. Maybe they pulled it. Maybe that was a mistaken listing. Ooh, feel bad for them if that's the case. Yeah, because there were definitely some at 295. I saw 8 listed, but 8 did not sell, and they're not here anymore. So, anyways, 306 is still below map, so it is definitely a thing. It's just, this is what it is, All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, leave a comment below, hit share, like, whatever. Let people know about this stuff. And as always, you can support us by going to the link below for the shop. We are selling some Magic cards, some other games, what we have. Basically, Tommy and I are selling a lot of our personal collection into the store. And that is to fund Tommy's Top Picks store into the future, which we are doing. Check out some of our content coming up. We'll have tales from the shop and some other things that we'll talk about, this journey of starting our own card shop and online distribution channel, etc. We're just getting started, and so we're funding it with some of our collectibles that are available to buy in the shop. So if you want an authentic John or Tommy card, that is the way to get it. They are from our collections right now. We don't have almost anything listed that's just straight from the shop or through the shop. So, and it will help support the channel. Other ways you can help, join the Discord and join our Patreon. We have a different tiers. $1 is available, so if you want a $1 and just join the Discord, you can see some of this stuff early, and things like that, liking, sharing, telling other people about it. We love having you guys comment on stuff. It makes us laugh, makes us have a good day. It's a lot of fun to interact with you all, so I love it. So do leave a comment if you have something you want me to see. Until next time, have a good one.